If we were to ask you to think of a brand of sneakers, any brand at all, what would come to mind? Most would think of Nike, and Adidas would have its fair share of supporters as well. There's no doubt that these are two of the biggest sneaker brands in the world. But what about third place? Well, that honor belongs to none other than the most underrated brand of all time, Skechers. In fact, you could even say that this brand punches well above its weight. This might surprise you because Skechers don't quite exactly seem like the coolest brand around. Quite the contrary. They seem almost universally hated, but the numbers don't seem to line up with that. Today, we're going to be diving into the paradox of Skechers' success and exploring how, despite their mixed reputation, they managed to dominate the sneaker market. Now, one thing's for sure, the numbers don't lie. By the end of 2023, Skechers' revenues were estimated to be well over $8.1 billion. Sure, that's not quite as high as Nike's $50 billion plus revenue figures, and that's about a third of what Adidas pulled in last year. But even so, it's a strong indicator that a silent but powerful segment of sneakerdom swears by this brand. No matter what people say, clearly they're buying these shoes. However, that doesn't change how embarrassingly bad sneakers' public perception tends to be. If you look at the statistics, you'll realize that the majority of buyers actively despise these sneakers. It's safe to say that Skechers has a bit of an image problem. The data supports this, by the way. Only 37% of Americans think positively about Skechers, for example, which doesn't exactly spell market domination. Despite all this, Skechers sales have gone nowhere but up. Their emphasis on comfort might play a role in that. No matter what your opinions are on Skechers, you have to admit, they're pretty easy on the feet. You can wear them all day and feel like you're strolling on a cloud. Nike makes perfectly comfy shoes too, of course, but that's not the main feature people are looking for. Nike creates sneakers for the fashionable, for collectors and enthusiasts. Skechers? They make shoes for everyday folk. And while this might surprise a few of the hardcore sneaker nerds out there, regular folk buy sneakers too. Besides, Skechers has plenty of offerings for the discerning buyer too. Their Go Run collection includes some solid options that can improve your athletic performance and don't skimp out on aesthetics either. Just take a look at the Go Run 7.0 with its numerous colorways that cater to every demographic. From stately, sober navy blue to classic gray with black accents, you need only take a look at Skechers to realize they have a lot more to offer than you'd expect. And then, of course, there's the price. Skechers shoes are, on average, much more affordable than your average Nike pair. You'll rarely spend over $100 on a pair, and if you do, you'll get something dependable and comfortable in the bargain. Given all this, $8 billion in sales seems like a foregone conclusion. But even so, it's straight up shocking that Skechers is able to surpass the likes of Puma and New Balance. As far as brands go, Skechers is the dark horse that slips past its rivals with such grace and ease that you're surprised you didn't notice it sooner. Also, Nike's status as a collector's brand is a bit of a double-edged blade. It helps the brand sell sneakers for remarkable prices, but these shoes aren't being worn. They're kept in the most controlled conditions to prevent wear and tear, and plenty of buyers refuse to put them anywhere near their feet. This obviously isn't for all Nike sneakers, but still a decent amount each year that are kept being dead stock for collecting or selling purposes. Skechers don't have this problem. Their shoes are worn until they're worn out, and which their buyers go out and buy more Skechers sneakers. It's the epitome of a virtuous cycle, and it helped propel the brand into some dizzying heights. So why haven't they achieved more success given all this? The first thing to realize here is that Skechers is a pretty new brand. They first set up shop in 1992, nearly a decade after the Air Jordan exploded onto the scene. Both Nike and Adidas were very well settled around the time Skechers was taking its shaky first steps, so it's no wonder that the brand hasn't achieved the same level of renown and brand recognition. It's still managed to carve out a niche for itself though, and it's achieved a decent amount of financial success. Now, there are some caveats to its success. Its fan base has historically consisted of baby boomers. Skechers sneakers appeal to the older crowd, which might not sound like a recipe for success, but it's clearly served the brand well so far. Then again, it seems like Skechers is finally coming out of the shadows and coming into its own as a bona fide heavyweight in the world of sneakers. Some say that it started in 2015 when they got the endorsement of a lifetime. Kim Kardashian was at the height of her relevance at that time. She married Kanye West just a year prior. She was starting a business left and right and center, and she also happened to be in the market for a sneaker endorsement. Perhaps she was put off by Nike and Adidas' focus on athleticism, or maybe they weren't interested in working with her. It's also possible that Skechers just gave her the best offer. Whatever the case may be, in 2015, Kim K signed with the brand and changed sneaker history in the process. Her husband was still with Adidas, showing that he too wasn't interested in going for the biggest brand, but rather preferred to have more creative control. Skechers had officially bagged one half of the biggest power couple in the world. Sure, this endorsement ended up costing $40 million after they got sued for false advertising, but what's a few million when you're raking in billions? And besides, the brand had suddenly become more relevant than ever before, and they were only getting started. In 2023, Skechers had its best year yet, with multiple new collaborations announced. Over the past few years, Skechers has inked contracts with everyone from Meghan Trainor, whose favorite delights came with memory foam and an affordable design that struck a chord with buyers, to TV personality Brooke Burke. However, they were still focusing on cultivating a family-friendly image, what with their back-to-school campaigns and safe bets. Who can blame them after the Kim K fiasco? All publicity is good publicity, but it seemed like Skechers took the lawsuit to heart and decided to err on the side of caution for a while. Then, in the 2020s, they started kicking their endorsements into high gear. They started 2023 off with a bang by combining two of the unlikeliest celebrities imaginable, Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg. They noticed just how popular this pairing had become over the years and decided to use it to their advantage. The result was a highly memorable Super Bowl spot that advertised their hands-free slip-ons. They played to the strengths by emphasizing comfort, but they were spending money in all the right places, and the brand started to pick up steam as a result. Perhaps their biggest win of 2023 was getting Doja Cat to endorse them in an ad that saw her wearing the neon-hued Uno sneakers that Skechers had released. She didn't just stick to one ad though. Instead, she put the full force of her celebrity behind Skechers by becoming their first ever artist in residence. All this suggests that Skechers is really trying to focus on the demographics that matter. They're not sacrificing any of the features that made them popular in the first place, namely that comfort and affordability. But they're also trying newer, bolder things, both in terms of design and marketing. If we circle back to the numbers, you can see just how well their strategy is working. Revenue was up 10% year over year. Brand recognition increased among older and younger consumers alike, and overall, Skechers is in a better place than it's ever been before. Could this position the brand to supplant one of its stronger rivals in the near future? Their revenue predictions estimate they'll bring in $10 billion by 2026. But what about the 2030s and beyond? Could Skechers be the next big contender for the throne, or is it recent success just a flash in the pan? We'll have a wait and see. So there you have it, folks. What are your thoughts about Skechers? Let us know in the comments below. That's all for now. See ya.